Good day, everyone. In our last session, we talked about the theory of multiple intelligences. And I told you that when we place people in areas or environments that correspond to their dominant intelligence, according to Gardner's theory, they would be more productive and happier people. However, you might have noticed that I did not mention creativity. See, when you work in an area that corresponds to your dominant intelligence, again, according to another psychologist, I forgot his name. Actually, I did not, but he has a very difficult name. Maybe you can research it later. He says you reach a state of flow, where you are totally immersed in that challenge that you're dealing with, but you're happy. And you're somehow disconnected from the outside environment. Now, this is good because you're happy and you're very productive, but this does not help you become more creative. Now, the simplest definition of creativity, we define intelligence as the ability to solve problems. Creativity is the ability to come up with more than one solution to a given problem. This is creativity. Now, how can we be creative? For us to be creative, we need to step outside our comfort zone. If you have logical mathematical intelligence and you work in a company as an accountant, you're probably very happy with what you do. Or you're just an engineer, a mechanical engineer or a computer engineer, somebody that likes to work with numbers and processes and procedures and structure. Now, you would be very happy working in this environment, and you'll probably be very productive. However, for you to become creative, you need to step outside your comfort zone, because this environment that corresponds to your dominant intelligence is your comfort zone. For you to become creative, you need to step outside your comfort zone. You go outside your comfort zone, you learn new things, and then you come back to your comfort zone and try to apply these new things in your comfort zone. Now, I talk to some people sometimes, and then some of them tell me that, oh, we're creative, I'm not creative. Creativity, ladies and gentlemen, is not a God-given gift. Creativity is a skill that you can learn. And it's very simple. One technique we can use for us to become more creative is something called forced relationships. Now, usually when I talk about creativity, I ask people to give me an example of a creative idea, for example, or an innovation. By the way, innovation is applied creativity. So when you come up with an idea, unless and until you turn this idea into something that could be used, it's simply a creative idea. It's not an innovation. So sometimes I ask them to give me an example, and more often they show me a smartphone. So just to tell them what creativity is about, I tell them that 30 years ago, this iPhone we had a telephone, and we had a computer, and we had a camera. Now, when you created a forced relationship between all these three, today you call it what? A smartphone, right? So this is the concept of forced relationship. We can all be creative if we get ourselves or give ourselves the opportunity to step outside our comfort zones, learn new things, bring them back, try to somehow connect them to what we already know, then try to see if it works. Now, it is extremely important to note one thing before we go to the break, is that creativity needs to be able to be commercialized. I'm going to continue when we come back after the break. So, as I said, to become creative is not a big deal. We just need to learn the technique that makes us creative. We need to do 2-3 things. Number one is to step outside our comfort zones. Now, when you go to a restaurant, just to give you an example, when you go to a restaurant that you know, and there's a favorite dish that you have, when you eat this favorite dish, this is your comfort zone. You feel happy. You feel great after eating that dish, right? Now, if you try a new dish, you don't know, you have some kind of anxiety, and you're anticipating, so you're more stressed. So when you step outside your comfort zone, yes, you become tired. But that's good, because if you don't try this new dish, you might not ever discover that there is something better than what you already have. So stepping outside your comfort zone is probably one of the most important things that we need to do in order to become more creative. Now, how can we do that? Don't stick to whatever you do best. Sometimes try something new. Visit libraries, go to museums, try a new dish, learn a new language, read new books about new disciplines, try a new sport, just do whatever. Anything different, break your routine every once in a while. That will help you to become more creative, because it gives you, as we said, it gives you more ideas, new ideas. You can come back, you can link these ideas to whatever you have in your mind, and then you can come up with new, maybe products, new services, and so on and so forth. Now, is this the only technique we can use for creativity? Of course not. There's another technique. There are others, but I will talk about another simple one. And that technique, I think, is called attribute listing, is where you take an object and you list all the attributes of this object. Then you try to either link these attributes or delete these attributes. I'm going to just give you an example. I know a restaurant. They only sell steak. So what happens is that whoever probably came up with this idea wrote restaurant and listed all the attributes that belong to the restaurant, like furniture, chef, customers, location, communication, music, menu, and so on. So you can start by removing some of these attributes. So whoever came up with that idea, remove the menu. So when you go to this restaurant, they have no menu. It's just one thing. Now, it's a creative idea, and it's working. As I said somewhere in this session, I said that creativity without action is mere daydreaming. So we are all creative. We come up with great ideas. But geniuses are those people that take these ideas and implement them and make them work and be able to commercialize them and sell them. Without that, we're just daydreaming. So I guess we're all good daydreamers, and we can turn that into creativity by taking action. Thank you very much. We're going to talk about a new subject in our next sessions. Have a nice day.